gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammer lock! I do the hammer lock! Ray! Do the hammer lock, you turkey necks! Yeah, do the hammer lock! I do the hammer lock!
Everybody's doing it. Hello. Hello, friends. Fancy seeing you here. You have stumbled across another episode of Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am your host, Chris Things Brian, and today we have a little bit of a milestone, guys. We have the 100th edition of this little old podcast. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if I planned on doing 100 episodes when I first came up with the idea of doing this extremely niche podcast, but dude, I'm happy we have. I'm shocked a little bit, but happy nonetheless. I am very thankful as well for all of you all out there that voluntarily listen to this show. It's a bit of a weird one for me to get my head around sometimes, that people would choose to voluntarily listen to my rambling nonsense, but I'm grateful. So for all of those old and new and anywhere in between listeners, thank you very much for indulging me in my ridiculousness. Thank you for joining me on this journey as well. This is wrestling artist journey. I have been doing this, I guess, full-time for the past couple of years now. Not been without its struggles, but yeah, we're making it happen. My dog Ziggy here is sneezing right now. There we go, another one. This is exactly the way that I would think that we would start the 100th edition of this show. It's a weird one to think we got to 100 of this mess, but yeah, we're doing it, guys. But today, to commemorate this 100th episode, I thought I'd do something a little bit special. We have a guest. We have a guest for the show, and it's a rather special one. So, what is happening this Sunday? I mentioned before in the show we've got Cult Lucha, which is a classic Mexican wrestling lucha libre movie night initiative that we're doing in Brisbane on potentially a monthly basis. But it's all happening at Netherworld. It is myself along with a person that I greatly admire, Andrew Leavold of Trash Video fame. He's the dude who I'm partnering up with on this thing. This was I think this was actually his idea to start with, to merge our passions to do this thing together. And what I thought I'd do today, I'm going to go down to the pub. I'm going to meet up with Andrew, and we're going to have a little chat about, I guess, about this Cult Lucha thing. About our Lucha Libre film passions, but hopefully, I'm hoping to delve a little bit deeper. Andrew used to be on a TV show, the host of Schlock Treatment, which was a public access television show here in Brisbane back in the day, which was the first time I ever did see the Lucha Libre film genre. And I believe one of the films that I remember watching on his show that he presented from his very own video store, Trash Video, back in the day. It was the movie that we're going to be screening this Sunday, El Santo versus the Vampire Women, or El Santo contra las Mujeres Vampiro. Man, what a wild world this is. It still feels quite surreal. So we're going to have Andrew on the show. My long-winded way of getting to that. And we'll be chatting all about the Cult Lucha project, and yeah, we'll see what else we chop it up about. But I'm very excited. Yeah, a lot of this passion of mine for Lucha Libre, for schlocky B grade cult cinema. Came from this dude, so I cannot wait to have a full on little nerd out with him. We'll see where we go at Mort's Pub in Nambour. We'll be cutting to that in a brief moment. In the meantime, in my What's Happening in the World of Chris Things intro monologue, well, it's been a lot of preparing for this aforementioned Cult Lucha evening. I think we're all pretty well going to be good to go. I'm planning on wearing a suit to this thing. If you followed me for long or much of my art, you're probably aware that I absolutely love the luchador kind of suit, that ageless like combo. So I'm going to try to replicate that in a sweaty, humid Brisbane summer. That may be a regrettable decision. We'll see how we go, but I need to dress for the occasion. So we'll be doing that. I've got the poster that I designed the other week that I was quite stoked on. We've got El Santo driving his spiffy little car, his roadster, with some mysterious bat ladies in the background. Pretty happy with that it came out. You can check it out on instagram.com/ChrisThinks. Yeah, I have also been working on the upcoming Luchadors versus Everything book project that I'm doing with Master Republic, that I'm just so stoked to be involved in. So many other amazing artists. I just feel like I'm in very, very good company to be doing this thing. It's a book through so Master Republic. I'm not sure if I've already mentioned that, who I've done a little bit of stuff with before, but I'm delighted to be back on board with them. A movie centered around the history of the Lucha Libre film genre. We've got film activist and member of the famed cinematic Calderon and Garcia Besne families, Viviana Garcia Besne. I don't know if I bastardized that, but she and her friends and colleagues dive into the history of her family's films of the beloved genre. It's with special guest film expert and passionate Lucha Libre enthusiast David Wilt, and interviews with a bunch of actors from the golden age of these films, and just all sorts of interesting, like collector kind of items, posters, different like tidbits and history. And what I'm doing for it is I'm doing a I guess tribute poster to one of the films, an alternative poster, I guess, for one of the films. I don't want to spill the beans on this one just yet of which movie it is exactly, but safe to say I'm very happy with the one that I ended up getting settled with. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I'm not sure whether that'll come out before the book comes out or not, but either way, the Kickstarter will be happening, will be officially starting over the next couple of weeks. I believe mid-February is the Kickstarter launch date, but all the deets can be found at luchadorsversuseverything.com. I'm also working on some fun commission stuff at the moment. I have just been overwhelmed by the amount of people that want to have me make a Chris thing for them, and it honestly is so fun to do. I really love doing this commission stuff, guys. And I've got a really cool one that I just wrapped up that I'm looking forward to sharing as soon as I can. And some other stuff that's in the pipelines that I'm really pumped to be working on as well. So it's a good time. So if you would like a commission thing of your own, a Chris thing commission piece of your own, be that of your favorite wrestler, your favorite match, your dog dressed up as your favorite wrestler, doing their finishing move, to your cat, I don't know, but whatever the wildest concepts that you have, please reach out to me, hit me up. I generally start commission pricing around about the $150 mark, so depending on what you're after, I like to be able to cater that. So whatever your kind of budget, we'll work together to kind of try to, make sure that it works for your budget, but also for your vision of what you want to make. Some pricing this commission stuff can be so hard. Like, you really have to sort of look at it and be like, all right, so for what you want, depending on level of detail, complexity of layout, all that kind of stuff, I kind of look at it and try to work out the amount of hours that it'll take me to do it. Just price it like that. I think that's the most honest way to do this thing. I like to be upfront with people as well. But yeah, if that's something you'd be interested in, please hit me up. christhings.com.au is the website. I got my contact page on there. You can always swing me an Instagram message as well. But yeah, I'd love to get you locked in the books. The rest of January is probably spoken for at the moment, but I would love to start locking in some stuff for February and thereafter. So if you would like to do such a thing, let me know. Other than that, big news of the week. We had a bird bang into the window of the office the other day, and I was quite startled, both from the noise, but then upon realising that, oh my gosh, a bird has just probably broken its neck crashing into our window. So I felt like a wave of guilt and concern for this lovely little bird. We rushed outside. It very much looked dead. But then in some sort of amazing sequence of events, it was not dead. It was alive, but just stuck in shock. So I was very much concerned for this bird. I ended up sitting with it for about a half hour while it just looked very much bewildered, sitting on the ground. I didn't want any other birds to screw with it or to get eaten by ants or anything like that, so I thought I needed to watch it. But I am delighted to let you guys know that beautiful little blue bird was okay, and after coming back to his senses, flew up into an adjacent tree, so I think he was okay. So that was a very nice little thing for the week, to distract from all of the world of awfulness that's going on in the world of old news at the moment. I don't want to get you bogged down in that too much. I know, especially to all my American friends and my Latino American friends, I can only imagine the stress of having to endure this right now. I'm so sorry that you have to be experiencing this. Please know that a lot of people around the world whose hearts are with you, and we're sending our love, and we care. And I just, it sucks that this has to happen, that things have gotten to this point. But I would like to believe that things will get better. You guys can get through this, and yeah. All the love, guys, and if anyone out there is in a position to be able to donate, a great place to check out is the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. So they actually take donations, and the money can go to help people in need in Minnesota right now. That's miracmn.com. So if you feel like it, give that a look. This is not like a political podcast, but at times like this, I really struggle to try to it feels weird just doing a wrestling podcast when there's such awful things going on in the world. So you do what you can, but yeah, man, let's try to move forward. And yeah, if I can try to lighten people's day with this fun, ridiculous chat with Andrew, that would make me happy. So let's jump into it, guys. Looking forward to this chat with Andrew Leavold of Trash Video. at Mort's in Nambour. Over to the pub. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with another special guest for the podcast. We've got episode 100 here, and I feel like we're capping it off in a special, fitting manner. So I mentioned previously we've got our big cult Lucha nights coming up at Netherworld, the first one being this Sunday evening, and to commemorate our 100th episode of the podcast, I am bloody delighted to have on a cult cinema hero of mine. We'll get talking a little bit about that, but my tag team partner in crime for the cult Lucha movie nights, Trash Video Archives, Andrew Leavold. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Mate, I'm stoked to have you on the podcast. From the first time that I ran into you on that street in Nambour, when I did the Nambour markets.
Well, it is the centre of the universe.
It really is. Yeah. I've learned this having moved up to the sunny coast now. It took me a hot minute. But yeah, from the first time we got chatting and we got nerding out, it's like, I need to have you on the podcast. We need to capture some of this magic for the people, you know.
Yeah, and I was also saying we should totally do a thing together. We should do an event. Oh, I know. Let's play Lucha movies in a pub and invite all our mates along.
Dude, the funniest thing with that
was within the first 10 minutes.
And that's normally the kind of thing where you have these kind of like great ideas of people and you're like, oh, that would be so good. And then it never happens, right? But then sometimes the clandestine nature of the universe just comes together.
Also, if you have that dread of nothing cool ever happens, if something is going to happen, I'm going to have to make it happen.
Yes.
If that fear of not having something to do is there, then it's an incredible motivating force.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially for me, having moved up here to the Sunshine Coast, living in Montville, I'm used to, before that being in the heart of Brisbane and doing stuff all the time. Then moving up here and becoming like a bit of a it's actually a big thing to go out and do something.
Yeah.
You only notice how important it is to you once it's sort of gone. And I live for these things where we actually get to go out and hang out with people that we like and soak up the similar passions.
Yeah, and you think that it can only happen in a town like Brisbane. Who are you going to find in Nambour that you can talk cult Mexican nonsense with? And there you are on the street,
Oh my gosh.
peddling your wares. I'm like, is that a Lucha print? Is that? And then,
we need to paint a picture for the listeners here. Like I had this market. I've been, I do a bunch of markets, but this one was one of the more unique ones. Actually, literally on the street, on the side of the street, black market. The records in
Bad Habit
Records.
Yeah.
It was the black market
event.
Market event. Yeah. But so they put it on. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I live not far from here. Let's give it a bloody go. And man, it was certainly a unique experience, but an absolutely awesome one.
Yeah.
Just literally, having passers-by on the street walk past my art and, have a little chat about Mexican wrestling or whatever it might be.
Even if they've never even considered it before.
Exactly.
They can see this is interesting.
You get the classic, oh, is that Rey Mysterio? And then you get to be like, well, that is Blue Demon. And, we chop it up. But so I'm doing this, and then I have a fellow that comes along, and we have a really great chat about Lucha Libre, about Lucha cinema. And I'm looking at the dude, and I'm like, I know your face. I know this face. Where do I know this face from?
Who's this old guy?
And I realised, I connected the dots. I realised this fellow is the host of Schlock Treatment, who I used to watch on Briz 31 back in the day, my original introduction to Lucha Libre cinema.
Yeah.
This is the dude that ran Trash Video, which was also such an important part of my introduction to like cult cinema in general, to like blaxploitation films.
I've heard that from a few people.
And
it was my missionary work.
And then we meet up on the streets of Nambour, no less. And
we just happen to be living in the same area.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, this is a sign. Let's do things.
Exactly. I'm so stoked.
Let's continue our missionary work.
I mean, I'm honestly stoked as well, just to like have a friend that I have like stuff in common with here as well.
Oh, dude, likewise. I've felt the isolation of living on the Sunshine Coast acutely since moving back here in 2012.
Wow, so you've been up here a while.
Yeah. My mum got sick, and so I moved back from Brisbane to look after her, and she lasted another 12 years.
Wow.
But that was 12 long years of missing my friends, seeing life pass me by from a distance, in my former stomping ground, and thinking, oh man, I feel so alone. It really wasn't until I put Pub the Movie together and I started doing local screenings here that I reconnected with the music community and the local film heads.
Like when you originally started doing it, because I was surprised when I did that market how much of an actual sort of like alternative creative scene there is here, band scene as well. I had no idea of that. But was it the same back then? Or
No. Well, I mean, I remember the coast from when I was going to high school, and we were in the only punk band on the Sunshine Coast at that time. We would have like crowds of 10.
Awesome.
And that was it. Then I moved to Brisbane, first year of uni. Never moved back. Never looked back. And when I came back in 2012, there was a record shop on the main street called Time Machine. They would put on semi-regular gigs. Mm-hmm. I would go out there, meet people, think you've found a kindred spirit, and then you wouldn't see them again for another 6 months until the next gig. So there were so many stops and starts to culture because it wasn't an ongoing thing like it is now. It was really hard to feel any kind of momentum. And now, since that Pub the Movie screening, since I started playing in the Ketamine Cowboys, since I'm now going regularly to gigs and know that every weekend there is a gig to go to. There's several gigs to go to. And there is such a community of people who love music, film, art, literature, dirty books, you name it. There's a scene for it. And people support it now. As opposed to bitching and moaning about nothing ever happening, now people put boots to the ground and actually go out and support the thing.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing at the moment.
It's
People in Brisbane actually look towards the Sunshine Coast and go, oh, I wish something like that was happening in Brisbane. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that
Drive
statement?
up from Brisbane.
There
or
is
catch
something
the train from Brisbane and come to Nambour, which I adore.
Yeah, they get one of those 50-cent fares and catch the train and then go back the same night or stay in one of the cheap, shitty motels in Nambour, which is an experience in itself too.
Yeah, that's how you get the proper, authentic Nambour experience.
You really do. And Nambour, for me, feels like Brisbane back in the 90s. Back when it was, like pop-up gigs in shops and backyard parties and alleyways and like a real feeling of camaraderie.
Yeah.
because you knew that you were the 1%ers.
Yeah, the small city kind of thing.
And, you know, when you look at the demographic of Nambour, I don't know what percentage are angry meth heads, but there's a lot of them. They probably outnumber the people who go to gigs. So this is what you're having to counter. Bigoted right-wing Christians, crazy meth heads, dipshit farmers, One Nation supporters, and the freaks.
I think
who fly their freak flag proudly.
That is such an excellent way of giving the proper breakdown of the war.
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers, but I think numbers for each are pretty fucking high.
I think I saw every part of
just
that.
Just like the meth heads.
When I did that market, I think I got every bit of that experience you just mentioned.
Exactly, but the good thing about somewhere like the Ambo Centre and Bad Habit Records that have a shop within the old Ambo.
Shout out to Aaron, rad dude.
Big shout out to Aaron von Borg. Is that it's a, I wouldn't say a cubby, yeah, it's like a cubby house. It's like a safe haven for anyone with a tattoo, anyone with a heavy metal t-shirt, anyone with a, stud through their face, anyone who knows that they're going to be picked on by one of these assholes, the normals, with big inverted commas around them, the people who identify as normal and nice, the fucking nice people who are fucking anything but, So it's a refuge from being stared at and being judged.
You get that as soon as you walk into the record store, honestly. Like, I'm in there, I'm flipping through, like, whatever records has got. I'm having a bit of a chat with Borgie and, the amount of people that you see, like, flip in and out, have, like, a little chat to him, be like, oh, you got this in, or you went to that gig the other week,
I'm just on the way to the skate park. Cool, yeah. Check out the new bit of graffiti down there.
I love it.
Yeah, it's part of an underground discourse, which can only be a good thing.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, sure, you get a bit of infighting between the various members because someone's done something to someone. It's fucking high school, you can't escape that. But when it does function on a reasonable level, man, like Nambour is suddenly 50% more bearable.
Yeah. Well,
and just to make a little shithole like Nambour like this, that little bit more livable, it's got to be a good thing.
Dude, I far prefer this than the Maroochydore, like the...
Oh, Ocean Street. Oh
my gosh.
That's just ghastly.
Really?
Yeah, I saw someone get king hit for being someone's ex-boyfriend.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That was just a couple of weeks ago.
Man.
You forget. I mean, we do have in our little bubble of tolerant people and people who generally aren't assholes. You forget that
yes,
a good deal of the people who do go to gigs on Ocean Street are fucking wankers.
This comes up so often with my partner Kaylin and I. Like you forget that the bubble exists because you choose to surround yourself by a certain kind of like people, and then it can be such a rude shock sometimes. So you're just like, oh,
that's right. I forgot about it. Oh my god, people really are fucking cunts. Yeah.
But I try to pretend that doesn't exist. At the moment, I'm really like trying to put my head in the sand and just try to, good vibes, But sometimes the harshness of reality comes in.
Yeah. But then, you just have to, either make another bubble, repair the bubble, and enjoy the bubble until the bubble bursts.
Yeah.
And that is all about creating spaces in which you don't feel like you're being judged or exploited or, vilified. You can be as eccentric as you want, and not feel like you're being persecuted for being different. And as long as you're not being an arsehole to other people, it should be good. It should be a good thing. But anyway, that's why I'm really happy about the idea of reconnecting with a lot of the film crew at these Sunday night events at Netherworld, because I've lived up on the coast now for 13 years. I've 14 years now, and I've felt that isolation. I've felt the disconnect between me and my tribe. So I want to reconnect with my tribe. And I think a great way of doing that is putting on a film show and just hanging out in a cool bar.
100%. Like, as soon as you were saying, like, before you even jumped onto that, I was thinking the exact same thing about, like, the coolness of kind of creating a community, or at least like providing a space where people can you know, like meet with like-minded weirdos. That was a part of that was like such a big thing for me in doing the wrestling club thing at the Scratch, and continuing on, and I'm hoping we see some of our wrestling club members on Sunday night.
Absolutely.
But there's something so absolutely lovely about, you know, providing a space where people can, like, who are really stoked about something that's quite niche in the grand scheme of things,
very much,
to exchange that kind of like passion. And that's what I'm so absolutely enthused about, something as extremely niche as classic Lucha Libre film.
The trick is to make it accessible.
Yes.
Because you love this stuff. You know, I love this stuff. The trick is to say, hey, you know, if you've never seen this stuff, then you won't be judged for being new to it. You will be welcome.
We're your guide.
You will be welcomed. Yeah, exactly. We're your safari guides into going into the Mexican jungles.
Yes.
And which was precisely the approach that I took when I did that Shock Treatment TV show. When I think about it now, that was a good 5 years. Sometimes with breaks in between, but
this is something I was so excited to talk to you about on this podcast.
End of 2006.
So this is a Brisbane public access television network called Bris 31, which
doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't? I didn't even know that.
I don't believe it does.
Oh, man. But it actually was a really interesting network. They had some great content. There was like this like comedy sketch show on there as well that I remember really loving. But also just like that great vibe of public access television where there's a little bit of you where you're just like, how is this being allowed on the air? Oh yeah, totally. There were some national shows because the 31 network went around Australia. It was Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide that I know for sure, in addition to Brisbane. So they would share a lot of shows from interstate. But then Shock Treatment ended up getting screened in Sydney and Melbourne as well. So I was syndicated around the 31 network for a short while. And it started off, I took over the show from someone else. So they had coined the title Shock Treatment, and they were doing, like a horror host kind of intro to typical public domain movies like, the Usual Suspects. It's like that classic American kind of like, I think
Brain from Planet Arus.
Yeah.
Battle Beyond the Stars. Just whatever was available on those $5 DVDs that you could get from the junk shops.
The good stuff.
PD. As long as it was public domain, there was no problem with rights. So I took over the show. They said, can you just keep mining your public domain collection? So I think the first one I ever did was Santa Claus Conquers the Martians and the Mexican Santa Claus. Santa Claus versus Satan. It would have been Christmas 2006. And I thought, oh yeah, this is fun. They decided to film the intro with me behind the counter at Trash. So
Which is such a great visual.
yeah, so it's like me being the video shop owner saying, you've got to see this film. And then you get to see the film. I'm giving my Trash video recommends across the counter.
Yeah.
And so we
And in double feature form. Did it start out as a double feature?
Yeah, as a double, sometimes triple if the films were about an hour long. Then we would screen 3 of them. Like one of the earliest ones was Reefer Madness,
So good.
Marijuana with Weed with Roots in Hell, and Assassin of Youth. I just wanted to do 3 drugsploitation films in a row, and it was fucking great. Yeah, the best 3 hours you're ever going to spend. You know, I was going to say best 3 hours wasted in front of the TV. I'm sure people were. And then after a few months of that, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting bored with the usual suspects. You know, these are the films that get trotted out on Bris 31 all the time. All I'm doing is giving a wet coat of paint to, you know, a really old painting. So I went, well, I've got a video shop full of old and forgotten films. What if I start looking into who owns what and shake shit up a bit? So I thought, well, I like Santo films. They're public domain, or some of them are at least. How about I just program them? And there's all those other Mexican films. I can program them as well. Then I started getting into the really obscure shit. I was thinking, well, if I got away with that, and people seem to like it, what about if I did an Egyptian sex horror movie?
Yes.
You know, Lady of the Black Moon. I was like, oh fuck. What about the Greek 007 parody? I was like, yeah, I could do a whole month of James Bond ripoffs and see how obscure I can get. So, of course, I'm going to play a Filipino one as well as a Greek one, and Santo in Operation 67. Of course, it's a fucking Mexican Bond ripoff. So this was the change in programming. Within 12 months, I was like digging deep, and I dug deeper. And got even more obscure, and people were just going, where are you finding this stuff from? I'm like, look, what's the name of my shop? You know, this is what I do. I find the trash, and most importantly, I dust it off. I give it an intro, put it into context, and I make it understandable.
Yeah.
I make it accessible. And for me, that was the key to it. It was like, all you got to do is just give the person the key to open the lock, and then they're able to enjoy the treasure contained within.
That's exactly how I felt, like how I received it as a viewer.
Right.
You know, I was like, this is stuff that I have no grounding of background or understanding of whatsoever. Yeah. But you were sort of like, again, that what we're talking about, that guide that's like, hey, you know, I'll take you by the hand. I'll introduce you into this new subgenre of like very culty, obscure film that most, you know, even keeled people probably are not aware of. And I was like, man, I'm here for it. And that's
me on a journey.
Yeah, right? I'm like,
take me by the hand and lead me into the unknown.
I'm, you know, so excited for this. I remember being in high school at the time, and not the kind of dude that would like go out to like parties and be much in any sense of a social kind of like person in high school. Very, very awkward like teenager, but like that was one of the things that like made me feel like, oh, there's other people
I'm not alone.
that are into the weird stuff. I'm not alone. So it's just like pretty big kind of stuff.
Yeah, which is exactly what the shop was for. You know, it was to make people who loved eccentric cinema, and I use that term as the broadest one I can think of. It wasn't just cult stuff. It was also, you know, lowbrow, highbrow, classic, forgotten, foreign. You know, anything that was not mainstream, that belonged in a specialist video store, I made a shelf for it. You know, anime when
This is a magical place.
anime when anime wasn't so popular. Like if it was weird, obscure, forgotten, I stocked it. Whether I thought it was interesting or not didn't matter. I mean, I wanted to save movies from oblivion. And the problem with blockbuster video culture was that those shops were a kind of filmic genocide. You know, a cinematic form of ethnic cleansing that were taking all of the strange, weird little mutant films, taking them off the shelf and replacing them with Hollywood bland busters. It was the beigeification of video culture, because video shops in their infancy would stock anything. And if you were adventurous enough and you picked up a video case and looked at it and went, that looks fucking nuts, you had access into that world.
Hell yeah.
Blockbuster ended up weeding those little mutant flowers out of the garden.
It's the homogenification of the genre. And ultimately, I think that's the reason why they lost their place so easily to the streamers.
To the streamers, exactly, because the streamers were able to do, you know, in a much more homogeneous form what Blockbuster had done to video culture.
Yeah.
So when the kids, and I'm talking about people in their 40s, when the kids wax nostalgic about Blockbuster, I'm like, you know, you're fetishizing the enemy. They were the enemy for me, because I remember video shops as they were before Blockbuster changed them and turned them into that monolith of mediocrity that video stores became.
Yeah. I mean, I think when people have that nostalgia for Blockbuster, it's a nostalgia for the concept of the video store more so than Blockbuster in and of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're like representational because like everyone remembers the branding, everyone remembers the stores, but at the end of the day, it's the mum and pop like video stores that I think are where the real shit was at. Like I remember growing up in Victoria. We lived in a little town called Little River. Next to the Little River, we had Lara, which was our closest town where we could go to a video store. They had this weird little video store, and they had an amazing, weird, bizarre little wrestling section of this video store. And this is where I really got my grounding in, you know, what would become an obsessive passion, lifelong passion for professional wrestling. And they had the weird shit, and that is what I love. And you wouldn't get half of that weird shit at the Blockbuster. But then, like, fast forward to Trash Video, and I remember specifically hiring like Japanese Wrestling Classics #3 or something like this from your store. This was probably the first time I ever saw Bruiser Brody and Antonio Inoki on this thing. So it's like your influence reaches even further on my wrestling fandom than just the Lucha Libre films.
Far out. Well, there you go. I had no idea. Well, it just means that the shop worked. You know, it was turning people on to an alternative. You know, and it is an alternative to whatever the mainstream culture doles out, you know, as nutrition. Yeah. You know, the fucking McDonald's of the film world. You know, one shit patty at a time. Yeah,
I mean that's worse than ever currently. I feel like, both in terms of interesting shit being made, but also just the damage that generally streaming is doing to the industry. I mean,
so the greatest thing that you can do as an act of defiance, you know, as an act of rebellion, is to create your own video store in your own house. And that's precisely what I did. I mean, I got rid of everything at the end of Trash Video. What I wasn't able to sell ended up in landfill.
Oh no!
Because I had nowhere to store it. You know, I was homeless for a while towards the end of the shop. So the idea of storing it somewhere just wasn't even an option.
Right.
If I couldn't carry it, then I had to turf it.
Man.
So everything went. Everything. And then for a good 6 years after that, I felt like a massive part of my soul had been ripped away.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to describe just how much of a void not having the shop and also not having a collection of films made to me. And then all of a sudden it was just like 2017, I think. I won $1,000 shopping spree at Cash Converters. And I was like, okay, well, I'll get a Blu-ray player for the first time ever. Okay. Oh, I don't have any Blu-rays to play. And then I looked over at the Cashie's selection of movies for sale and went, well, let's just get a couple of boxes of them. And then all of a sudden, I started.
Let's start to rebuild.
The collection. I started to rebuild one brick at a time. I started to rebuild my citadel. And right now, and I mean, I've done this like on almost a zero budget. I've now got somewhere around 15,000 discs.
Wow.
Plus another 15,000 movies on hard drives. So I've now surpassed the original Trash Video.
Wow.
But it's in my house and no one ever gets to touch them. No one ever gets their thieving fucking fingers on them. And that is my act of defiance in a time of streaming and with the ridiculous illusion of unlimited access to films.
Oh, it's the most bullshit farce that exists, right?
I mean,
never has it been more limiting.
Sure, if your taste is entirely dictated by fucking Disney and its various subsidiaries, yeah, great, yeah, unlimited access.
And the bullshit versions of these films that are cut up and
we get
certain scenes taken out.
Redacted versions.
Yeah.
You know, and we've fed
that in this Orwellian times that we live in, that you know, the Big Brother has decided this is the version that's appropriate for you to watch.
I seem to remember someone, no, never happened. No, shut your mouth. Watch The Mandalorian, shut your fucking face. Right?
Yes.
So yeah, hoarding films is an act of rebellion now. So you can control precisely what you have access to. One disc at a time. Of course, it's a fucking rich man's hobby. So you've got to make sure you've got a good paying job for it. I sure as shit don't, but I sell movies and I sell t-shirts online, and that is how I pay for it. I'm like a fucking pimp.
What is our
or a drug dealer? I'm a dealer getting high on my own supply.
What is our URL for our listeners out there that might be keen to shoot up here?
Oh yeah, trashvideoarchives.com. There you go. Still got a few masks left, and
I was on there the other day, and I was going through a bit of it, like getting caught back up. It was almost like an online version of being back in the store back in the day.
Well, this year I'm really going to pimp that online store back up again, because since going back into movie making, I haven't had time to update it as much as I would like. So it's either the all-consuming process of making film or selling shit.
I mean, that seems like a interesting spot to be travelling between. Like, how much of your life is generally taken up by the documentary and filmmaking?
These days, a great deal. Not only that, but doing bonus features for Blu-ray releases, like this week, I just did a couple of video essays for an upcoming box of a certain Chilean filmmaker who I can't really say much at the moment, but it's going to be fucking awesome. And I think the next job is... I've basically got work every month coming up for the next year.
Amazing.
So that's one thing I do. Another thing I do is a bit of freelance writing. That sometimes pays the bills. But then the physical act of filmmaking is probably the thing that gets me out of bed the most.
Yeah.
It's really I can talk about movies and screen other people's movies as much as I like, and it still doesn't have the same kick as actually going out there and creating your own.
That makes sense.
And then to be able to do... So I did a series of documentaries over the last 12 years. And now I've gotten back to feature filmmaking with this new one, The Taller They Come.
Oh, is that the one I saw an excerpt of recently with the sort of real classic like blaxploitation kind of film? Oh my gosh.
So there's a whole trailer at the end of the film for a blaxploitation film, like a fake blaxploitation film made in Ghana. Black coffee. She takes her vengeance hot, like her men and her black coffee.
Yes.
Guess who gets to do the trailer voice?
Oh,
She was bold and brassy from the back streets of Kumasi. A street-walking cheetah with a hat full of napalm.
Oh my god.
So you wait until you see that. You are going to want that film to exist. And who knows, maybe one day we will make it. But it's part of this mockumentary about an Australian jerk going to West Africa to do a midget kung fu remake of The Harder They Come, called The Taller They Come. And all the guys who are in Ghanaian no-budget movies, all the kung fu dudes and all the midgets and that, they're all playing themselves.
Amazing.
Ninja, the guy who basically created an entire genre of zero-budget kung fu remakes of Hollywood films, he's playing himself.
Incredible.
And I'm playing a slightly altered version of myself called Albie Wrangler. And
great name.
Yeah. Well, it's like, someone said, "Isn't that the World Safari dude?" I'm like, "No, that was Albie Mangle. This is Albie Wrangler." So yeah, you get the joke.
Yeah.
And I've been working on this series called Film Safari, which is kind of like the film equivalent of one of his World Safaris. Only I haven't got the blonde in the bikini on the raft next to me. And my voiceover going, "What's a gorgeous bird like her doing with a drongo like me?" Very influential on me as a kid. Apart from that whole sort of, first person trip into the unknown, it was also independent documentary making at its most DIY. That whole series of Albie Mangle's World Safari, that's fucking cool. When you actually look into the history of Australian cinema, that dude was out there by himself. He was on his own.
And a real deep dive into this. Oh my god.
Oh man, like this is shit I know, because I love rat bag filmmakers. And Albie Mangle is one of the ultimate Aussie rat bags. along with John Lamond, who made Pacific Banana, and Richard Franklin, True Story of Eskimo Nell. All these guys are all the Ozploitation guys. They're my heroes, and I ended up getting to meet many of them, and I got to sit. Great. I got to sit at the feet of the masters.
Wow.
Same with Brian Trenchard Smith, the guy who we name check in The Taller They Come. What would Brian do right now? O'Brien, who are in Oregon. we do a prayer to Brian at one point in the film. Name check fucking Man from Hong Kong. Name check Brian directing Man from Hong Kong. He's one of my heroes because he single-handedly created the fucking Aussie Kung Fu movie.
Tremendous.
So he was sending us Facebook messages while we were in Ghana.
Wow.
I was saying, hey, Brian, we just did a scene where we name check you. He's like, great to hear it, fella. Keep going. You guys are pioneers. And we're like, that's great, Brian. Can we list you in the credits as spiritual advisor? Yeah, go for it. Go for it, mate. So spiritual advisor Brian Trenchard Smith. See, these guys are my heroes.
Yeah.
I get to sit at the feet of the masters. You know, and that for me is it's a kind of religious act. Since cinema is my religion, you know, I believe in films as holy artifacts and locations as places of sacred geography. Sacred geography, that's right. Like when I went to Mexico, same thing. You know, I went to Santo's burial place. That for me is sacred.
Yes.
You know, I went to Astro Cafe. That's sacred.
Did you finish the torta of Super Astro? Those things are insanely big.
I did a vegetarian version of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did pretty well, and also, you know, walking around Mexico City gets you a fucking appetite.
Yes.
As you would remember.
It's a big time walking city.
Yeah. And of course, you're building up for, you know, the Friday or Saturday night down at Arena Mexico.
Oh, yes.
And so we each have our fight story.
I mean, that
Getting to witness Friday or Saturday night in the biggest, you know, wrestling joint in Mexico City. That's a fucking experience. That is a spiritual experience.
Exactly. That's like the closest thing for me for just like
it's like going to see the
indoctrination experience.
It's like going to the Vatican.
Yeah, like walking through the doors of Arena Mexico is one of the most incredible feelings ever. Like for the first show I actually got to go to was a big Friday night Arena Mexico show, and nothing hits like that when you first. Like even the like facade of it just feels like something out of the 50s, you know, because the building was built in the 50s and it's changed very little.
And you would have seen it captured as an exterior shot in how many Lucha films?
Yeah, so many documentaries, all that kind of stuff, and then like the actual interior, like the first bit where like the old ticket counter and the food sales, all that kind of stuff. And some of them are this beautiful murals, like all over the
murals.
Roof and the front part.
I just couldn't stop taking photos.
Oh, I took about 25, like of just like every different vantage point of it, just because I'm a big fan of like Diego Rivera as well, and like the bit of
I went to his house.
Oh man,
in Guanajuato.
Oh my god.
There's the Diego house, the house that he was born in. Yeah.
Wow.
I also went to the Blue House in Coyoacán.
Yeah, we went there when we were.
Yeah. So there's Diego's house that he shared with Frida.
Kahlo, yeah.
But the Diego house where he was born, the Rivera family mansion is open to the public in Guanajuato.
Oh wow.
And there are murals everywhere of like Diego and Frida kind of like peering out of a window or something like that, you know, popping up and saying hi to you.
Oh man, I need to go back and do a pilgrimage to Guanajuato.
So
and checking out their mummies as well.
Yeah, Mexico City was one thing, but spending 2 days in Guanajuato and doing the art, the mummy connection, and also the Lucha connection, and literally taking a video shot during the day of the outside of buildings, and then seeing the exact same shot replicated in Santo and the Mummies of Guanajuato that I watched on a laptop later on that night in my Airbnb. I went, oh my god, I'm channeling this shit. Seriously, like, so in a little compilation of Guanajuato footage that I did in Trash Fest 2019, I actually cut my shots and the shots from the opening credits side by side,
So
and it's
cool.
seamless. I'm seeing exactly what the director of Mummies of Guanajuato would have seen back in the early 70s when they made that feature film. I was getting as excited about the town as they were, because that town is exotica for Mexicans. You know, it's where they go for their holidays.
And it just hasn't modernized.
It's a colonial town. Yeah, most of the streets, once you get into Guanajuato proper, are still cobblestones. The traffic goes through town through a series of tunnels underneath the mountain, but you can't drive up and down the cobbled streets.
Right.
So it is left as intact as they could since the colonial days.
Amazing.
A colonial town. And the massive University of Guanajuato, which dates back to, I think, the 1600s, totally dominates one side of the mountain. Then on the other side of the valley, is the funicular that takes you up and gives you the uninterrupted 180-degree sweep of the town. And that's the shot they use in the start of Santo versus the Mummies of Guanajuato. I love this shit. I lost my mind being there. First thing I did, I got off the bus at about 7 in the morning. I took an overnight bus from Mexico City. Got off, caught the cab into Guanajuato, because you can't drive a bus into Guanajuato. They take you as far as they can. They let me off, and I thought, okay, it's about 8:30 now. I think the Mummy Museum's open. Shit, I don't even need a map. I'm just going to follow the arrows. Las Momias, this one. So I followed the signs. It's the town's most famous landmark, the Mummy Museum, and then spent like 2 hours looking at dead bodies.
Incredible.
Then you go to the gift shop afterwards, and they have fridge magnets of the mummified fetus that they took out of a pregnant woman and sat on a pedestal next to it. The most fucking ghastly thing I've ever seen, I think, in my life. Pregnant woman's empty stomach and the fetus that they managed to extract from her sitting on a plinth. And they've replicated that in a fucking fridge magnet.
Terrifying.
Welcome to Guanajuato. So I've got that sitting on my fridge, of course, because I'm a perverse motherfucker.
I don't think I have any fridge magnets that can possibly compare to such a thing.
You got to go.
Yeah.
You've got to make the pilgrimage, and you've got to raid the local souvenir shops for these absolutely ghastly trinkets.
Okay. Next trip to Mexico.
Next trip,
for sure.
That's it. I'll try and be there at the same time, and
Yes, I would love that.
we'll just quietly go bananas together.
Yes. Man, Mexico just was the weirdest feeling of just feeling like I'm in a country where I don't even speak the language, but I feel at home in the weirdest way.
Totally.
And for having...
It makes total fucking sense.
I mean, for having something that you've been like super into for so long, you know, I think the original introduction point was either your show or in conjunction with, I somehow got my little mitts on this little zine in the Gap that somehow was someone else's like passion letter to Lucha Libre, and it had like a bit
was
of
it called
introduction.
Obscene?
Maybe it had a write-up of the part that I really remember is Blue Panther, who was like my favorite luchador. It had like a real focus on him, and
weird.
I was just like, who on earth made this?
Yeah.
So it was like
What
that.
parallel universe has this appeared from?
It was like some time traveling version of Chris like put this thing back into the universe. I don't know.
Freaky.
But
Well,
yeah.
I know there's a few of us out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the coolest part, like, about finding others that are so passionate about this niche thing.
Yeah.
Like, I remember downloading, like, this stuff on LimeWire back in the day, getting the CMLL TV show from the big Friday night shows, and watching LA Park and Dr. Wagner Jr. and Atlantis and like all of my classic favorites from that time, like Shocker, Ultimo Guerrero, Ray Bucanero, and just feeling like this is a whole different world of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, from like you watch the American stuff, and this is just such a different flavor, such a different like unique style. Like everything about it has its own culture. Yeah. And then just wanting to know more and immerse yourself in. And I've been following it ever since then. You know, sometimes more than others, but always coming back to it. So. Finally getting to actually like be in the country and be in the arenas when this is where this is, you know.
Totally.
Arena Coliseo was another absolutely wonderful experience. I really wish that I got to see a show when I was in Puebla for my brother's wedding, because Arena Puebla is a very interesting character building. It's got this like really strange shade of blue that I feel like they just haven't changed in the longest time. It's got this like elevated like cage kind of like bit where the cheap seats are, so the people can't go down from the cheap seats to the expensive seats because of actual, you know, chain link mesh, which I think is so fascinating, and just like a really weirdly interesting shaped building as well. Yeah. But yeah, I love that kind of history stuff. So getting to see, I made sure when I was in Puebla, I at least went and saw the external facade of Arena Puebla.
You got to touch the stucco.
Yeah, see the really cool murals that are on the external part of it. But and then getting to connect with people and over there who's their big time passion, and they're just like, how the fuck are Australian gringos into this?
They're spun out. Like I made quite a few friends in Mexico, and I was staying with a guy who's just totally into B cinema in general, including the local stuff. And he's like, how the fuck did you how did you stumble on this stuff? I'm like, this is a real global cult, you know, and it is very accessible. It's just hard to find entry points. Yeah. And for years, there was maybe a handful of films that you could source reasonably easily, and that was it. You know, the few films that were dubbed into English and the ones that Kay Gordon Murray had dubbed and put out in public access, in the public domain. And I started to get into tape trading in the 90s, and I made it a point of finding all of these, like, you know, non-subtitle Lucha films. I'd be sitting there watching them in Spanish going, I don't care. I got
a vibe of what's going on.
I get to see, I actually get to watch these things. Yeah. And then slowly they started to get subtitles. And then they started to come out on DVD one by one. Now they're getting deluxe Blu-ray treatment. You know, companies like Indicator are bringing out those Santo deluxe sets, and I
saw recently like some of those
my luck.
The ultra rare sexy versions of some of those Santo movies, like the great Santo Cowboy film.
Yeah, there's the Riders of Terror.
Yes.
Now they've found the sexy version. And they were just rumours for years and years. I remember finally getting my hands on El Vampiro y El Sexo, the softcore version of Santo and the Treasure of Dracula, and just went, fuck me, this is just brilliant. It was even better than I could have hoped for.
I've got a new kink to go with my passion for Lucha Libre cinema.
Yeah. And the fact that El Santo's family are so up in arms against those films being released because they're such moralists makes it even better. This is forbidden fruit.
I mean, big time religious country, like in general, in Mexico, the amount of like Catholic kind of like
tell me about it.
Dogma that's related to everything.
But with that really Spanish manifestation of Catholicism. You know, the garish painted statues.
I mean, they're
and that
incredible
kind of
in their own right, right? Like, I mean, a lot of it's so interesting to see in person.
Yeah.
Like, we went to this little town outside of Puebla, and they had this, like, I can't remember what it was, but it's the great pyramid that we got to see, like, classic Mayan kind of like pyramid, and it's like the peak of the mountain where the original altar would have been. Of course, they demolished that and built a Catholic church on top of it.
The fiends.
Yeah, right. The great Spanish colonialists. But I mean, even seeing that, like, and like we were saying, this like really garish kind of like depictions with these like so much gold and so much like this
or fluoro blue.
Yeah, like it has its own super interesting vibe in its own right.
Yeah.
So
well,
like,
I've spent a lot of time in Spanish churches. I mean, first thing I do when I go to one of these countries is like hang out in a church and then hang out in a cemetery.
It's a good way to do it.
Now you're getting the heart and soul of a place.
Yeah.
You know, this is this is the front line, you know. And a great deal of the 2 days I spent in Guanajuato was spent in churches. I also went to this incredible church in San Angel, next to Coyoacan, right near the Frida Kahlo house, was a crypt that had 12 mummies guarding the crypt.
Wow.
Las Momias de San Angel, the mummies of San Angel. And they even made a movie about it, inspired by those. And they were the mummified bodies of their former patrons that agreed for their mummified remains to be sentinels to protect the crypt of the church.
Wow.
And they're still there. I filmed them for half an hour until I was busted. You're not supposed to be filming or even taking photographs in there. And they're like, no more photos. I'm like, yep, not a problem. Yeah, I think, I just got the one shot. Yeah. But yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, you see a lot of that imagery bleed into their horror films in particular, and the wrestling horror films. So that mad Latino, Hispanic brand of Catholicism, it's an aesthetic. But then at the same time, other than spending all this time, you know, looking at mummies in churches and stuff like that, I went to the black magic market, the Mercado de Sonora in Mexico City. So it's like a city block. Market's undercover, and for all your centenera needs, statues of Santa Muerte, voodoo dolls, fucking witchcraft ceremony herbs, and live animals for sacrifice.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And I'm there putting on a blue demon mask going, oh my God, this is awesome. The word got out, there's a gringo with money.
Oh man.
Or there was just a gringo. And all of a sudden my friend Alfonso went, dude, we gotta go. I was like, oh yeah, why is that? He's like, they're whispering about you, get the fuck out. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, I just wanted to buy one of these charms. No, let's walk the fuck out real quick. And I was like, yeah, gotcha. But I got my blue demon mask from Mercado de Sonora, and I got to see, and I even said to them, can I take a photo of the statue of Santa Muerte if I buy one of your charms? Oh, yeah. So I got video of it, them with cigars and offerings, money in the hand, of this statue of the Virgin Mary with a fucking skull face. Just fucking gorgeous. There's the flip side to all the beautiful garish Catholic imagery is the dark undercurrent of the saint of thieves and murderers.
Man, that is the side of it that I didn't get to see in person when I was on my last.
That's
so
the
another
interesting
thing on the to-do
There
list.
you go. So I had a bucket list of 15 things that I wanted to see. The only thing I didn't get to see was a live exorcism.
Wow.
Just at a church just down the road from the Mercado de Sonora. Alfonso said, "You will be killed. You will be stabbed or shot because you're a fucking gringo."
Yeah.
So for the same reason that I'm telling you not to go to that northern suburb of Mexico City that you're so keen on going, you'll end up in pieces in a fucking garbage bag, dumped on the side of the road. Trust me, you do not go there. I'm like, okay, I saw everything else on my bucket list, which was go to the wrestling, go to Santo's tomb, go to the wax museum where Santo's wax figure is. Go to the rock and roll market, see a Argentinian all-female metal band play in a car park at the fucking rock and roll market, street market. Yeah, I saw the Pixies play in the big plaza in the middle of Mexico City. Oh man, I had the best fucking time. But that was the second trip I went
Love
to.
the Pixies.
Yeah. So I saw a free Pixie show. Then walking to get a cab afterwards, there was about 3 city blocks of bootleg Pixie shirts.
I love the bootleg market in Mexico.
Well, man, you know that they're the cartel. So they would have stopped manufacturing drugs for one night and gone into the T-shirt trade. Fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So, the first time I went to Mexico, I got robbed on the subway and spent basically my 3 days in Western Union trying to get some money from overseas. So when I went back, I thought, right, I'm going to do my bucket list. I'm going to reclaim, my love of Mexico, and I did. And I did it one mummified body at a time.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I am so excited.
I could be doing this all fucking day, but I'm sure at some point your listeners are going to go, enough.
Oh, we normally ramble.
El Stumpo, you're out of
while.
control.
We normally have a good amount of rambling on this show, so that's never an issue. But it feels surreal now. So this is the Thursday here in Australia. We get to do our first ever Cult Lucha night.
Oh yeah.
On Sunday night at Netherworld.
Yeah.
Come one, come all.
The first unholy coupling of Chris Things and Trash Video Archives.
It just feels right, and we
I think the serendipitous way that we met says it all.
Yes.
When you stumble upon each other in the main street, like completely by accident in the main street of Nambour, of all places, it's meant to be there. Santa Muerte is smiling upon us.
I think
the spirit of El Santo entered Howard Street that very moment.
It had to have. It's like bizarre. It also is great that of when we just happened to get up to the 100th episode of this podcast, that the timing worked out for us to do this, for us to do a little preview chat for the event that will be, but also just doing a deep dive into, the history of all this stuff, of yourself, of Trash Video, of Schlock Treatment. I'm so happy we got to jump into all these things. And then it's just the beginning. Yeah. And we're going to have our first event. I'm very excited to see how this goes. We were having a little bit of a debrief chat before we started recording of how we're going to do the things. And I think we're both aligned, and it's let's just
talk about our love.
Yeah, let's just put our passion all out there together to celebrate this bizarrely niche thing and hopefully build a community out of it. And we'll see what happens.
Exactly. And if there's anyone out there listening right now who feels like they'd like to come to the pub and hang out with a bunch of film nerds and watch a free Lucha film, I can't think of a better night out.
Neither can I. And we will also, in addition to being there with all of our verbal nonsense, that will be, I'm sure.
And we
will
got
be
merch.
there. Well, we have a bunch of merch. We have
got a bunch of cool shit.
We have your bunch of interesting collectible items.
Yeah.
From
Well, I also
posters, T-shirts, masks.
I've got an original Mexican Santo poster. A couple of Santo versus the Vampire Women T-shirts that we printed up.
Dude, I told you if you had my size in that, I would have bought it in a hot second.
Panther Women, that Indicator Blu-ray deluxe Blu-ray set. Also, El Vampiro and the El Autor del Vampiro, the Vampire's Coffin. Mm-hmm. Two of those late 50s Mexican Gothic horror films.
Oh, the ones that were before the actual Lucha films started, when it was just more like a monster film.
When it was more monster, So there's a beautiful double pack of that we've got on Blu-ray from the UK.
Amazing.
So stuff like that. Also, I make up these memory sticks of rare Mexican films. So the stuff that you can't get on DVD or Blu-ray, but either dubbed or subtitled. Imagine a 32 gig memory stick with, more than 32 cult Mexican movies on there, English friendly, all for $32.
I will most definitely be procuring one of these on the evening, and perhaps even if there are, some of our listeners out there, I know a lot of you all in America and the different parts of the world. So I do know that Trash Video Archives does send overseas.
We certainly do. You just got to send us an email, tell us where you are, and we'll work out the cheapest way to get your swag to you.
Amazing. Well, my friend, I feel like this has been a wonderful 100th episode of the podcast, a wonderful preview of what's to come at Cult Lucha. And this is everything I wanted to be, dude.
Now that we've combined our superhero powers.
Yeah. Man, I'm a little bit scared for the level of nerddom that is going to come on Sunday, but I hope people are ready for it.
What will be left of them?
Yes. All right.
Just keep telling yourself it's only a Mexican lucha film. It's only a Mexican lucha film. Exactly. It's only a Mexican lucha film.
Any final plugs where people can get the thing? Maybe we can refresh people on that URL, the Instagram and such.
Yeah, just find me on trashvideoarchives.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. You can keep up to date with all our film adventures. 2026 is the year that we're going to be touring around the finished cut of The Taller They Come. We'll be doing our big international festival premieres second half of the year, but next month we start the rough cut sneak previews, and you, my friend, are going to get to see it before anyone else.
My gosh, I'm so excited.
So early Feb 2026.
I'll be there.
The Taller They Come rough cut sneaky peek. And if you type Ninja Productions into YouTube, you'll get to see the incredible no-budget genre films of the guy who pretty well inspired this movie, and who is co-producer, actor, playing himself, as well as actor in the film within the film, fight choreographer, action director, and special effects. He does all the really home CGI effects, including some moments which are just so West African, so Ghana, so ninja. We're basically recreating a kind of ninja film as a mockumentary. So I think people will dig it. I don't know. If you're a film nerd, you'll get the jokes.
That sounds very much.
There's about 30 or 40 references to Apocalypse Now in there, and every other film about some Western jerk trying to make a film in the third world. And we're going to put out a Taller They Come drinking game.
Oh my gosh.
There'll be a short list of, I think, 40 films that we directly make reference to in the film. You have to have a shot every time you get one of the references. If you're a film like film nerd like us, you will die.
Dangerous.
You will die of alcohol poisoning. So maybe feign ignorance just for the sake of, survival.
Protecting the liver.
But yeah, the taller they come drinking game is precisely the sort of thing that the main character Albie would do. What would Albie do? Probably do the opposite.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, my friend.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, and happy 100th podcast.
Yeah. Thank you for being here for this special milestone.
See you on Sunday for Santo and the Vampire Woman.
Sounds good. Wow. Oh man, that was just the best. Andrew, you're awesome, man. I had so much fun. I hope the experience translated into audio form for everyone out there. I hope everyone else got a kick out of whether it was like the cult film stuff or the physical media video store stuff or the love for Lucha Libre. So much in there that I adore. I feel like this has been the best 100th episode we possibly could have done, the most fitting in terms of having someone that is just shares so many of my passions and has also inspired so many of my passions. Man, what a wild world we live in. Cult Lucha this Sunday night, everybody. Come on down to Netherworld. It's all kicking off at 7 p.m. In the heart of Fortitude Valley, just steps from the Fortitude Valley train station. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be hosted by yours truly and Andrew Leavold. I just feel so lucky that Netherworld is letting us do this thing. They probably shouldn't be. But I'm glad they are. So please come on down and let's all celebrate this nerddom together. I think it's going to be a fun time. Free evening as well to all of the rest of you all out there who are in different countries, different states, all the rest of it. Well, best thing I can recommend is just giving. El Santo versus the Vampire Women, Santo contra Las Mujeres Vampiro, a watch or a rewatch this week and get into the spirit of it all together with us, man. So good. I'm very excited, guys. I don't know how it's going to go, but we'll see. Hopefully there's going to be a big thing for 2026. I'm crossing my fingers. I would like to say a massive thank you out there to everyone who has supported this podcast, supported my art practice. We got two dogs having a sneeze fight in the background. It's getting around that time of day where they're playing with one another. It's very wholesome, and they're just having a good old wrestle. Yeah, whether you spread the word about this podcast, whether you've bought a piece of Chris Thing's art over the years, whether I've met you at one of my various events, I'd like to just say thank you so much for your support, however that looks. I also would like to say a big thank you to the great team at Social Suplex, socialsuplex.com, the home of this extremely niche professional wrestling podcast, the place that allows me to keep doing this thing. Socialsuplex.com. We've got a bunch of other fun wrestling podcasts on that network, such as One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imps WWE Adventure, Tunnel Talk, Trish and Sarah Podcast, and many more. Sorry, I'm just laughing because these dogs are absolutely ridiculous right now. The height of professionalism. What a fitting 100th episode. Anyway, guys, again, thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope to have many more of this rambling mess of a podcast for you. If you get some semblance of enjoyment out of it, that makes me happy. christhings.com.au is a website where you can procure my things. We've still got calendars available, t-shirts, art prints, what have you. And yeah, you can always keep up with my stuff on Instagram at Chris Things as well. But no matter what, I hope you guys have the best week possible. I hope that everyone is doing something that can put them in a better mood If you can try to endure the negatives of this world right now and focus on the positives, I think that's a great thing. And for me, the greatest positive thing that I can do is to make art, and that makes me happy. So if you guys can find whatever it is that gives you some joy, I think that's the way to do things. But anyway, I hope you have the best week possible, and I'll see you next week. Enjoy!